Hey gorgeous souls, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of my videos today. So today's video is all about energetically cleansing your home, what that looks like, why is this important, what can we use to cleanse our home, and everything you need to know to actually physically cleanse your home, including my ritual. This is something that I have done over the last 7 years of my spiritual journey, and I covered recently in my free manifesting challenge at the beginning of the year, and a lot of people asked for this video and I realized I hadn't actually done a solo specific video on how to cleanse your home or why this is important or what my ritual looks like. So I'm so excited to share this with you today. But if you're new to my channel, then welcome. My name is Emma. I'm an award-winning life coach, 2 times best-selling author, law of attraction YouTuber, and host of the #1 spirituality podcast on iTunes, Spiritual Queen's Badass Podcast. And here on my channel, I cover all things law of attraction, manifestation, spirituality, and self-help. So not only do I really hope you're going to enjoy this video, but the abundance of videos here on my channel over the last 8 years. So why do we need to cleanse our homes and our workspaces? Like, is this a thing? Is this just a fad? Is this just a trend? Is this just something that we should spend money on and it doesn't actually work? Well, I have energetically cleansed my homes as soon as I found out about this, and as soon as I learned about this in my daily practice at least 6 and a bit years ago now. So I've been doing it for a while, and I feel like I've been really lucky. I've lived in quite new build homes by myself and with partners in the past. So I feel like the energy has always been pretty good, but not always is that the case for anybody. If you're buying a home that, you know, arguments or divorce has happened in, for example, there's gonna be heavy energy there. Sometimes you can really sense it and really feel it. And I know I've walked into places and thought, oh my God, the energy in this room or the energy in this house. And it's really funny because a lot of my friends and people who know me who have come around to my houses over the years have been like, oh my God, the energy of this house, like it instantly relaxes me, like it feels so good, it feels so light, like and I think one of those benefits is living by myself at the moment. Like obviously primarily it's just my energy here and Luna's energy, and obviously my boyfriend when he's here. So primarily it's my energy in the home. So it's not like there's loads of different people coming in and out. Obviously there's like workmen every now and again, and there's like people who need to come in the house. But ultimately anybody who is coming into our house is leaving an energetic footprint. So resetting the energy of your home and just making sure that it's your energy, your vibes that you want to create is so, so important. And how this impacts us and our manifestations is, think about it. Think how much time you spend in your home, maybe even work in your home like I do, or you're still working from home since the pandemic. So you have to think about how much time you physically spend in your home. Of course, this is going to have an impact on your manifestations, on your energy, on your vibes. And you can even energetically cleanse yourself as well. It doesn't just have to be your home or your workspace or your car, for example, but I would definitely recommend doing this as a regular practice on all those areas, yourself, your car, your home, your office, your work, whatever, just to really make sure that the energy is yours and to make sure that it feels good to you. You're attracting the right kind of energy into that space, and it's, you know, inspiring you and motivating you. It's not draining you. So I absolutely swear by this practice. I 100% believe in it and know that it works, because whenever I do it, I just feel such a sense of calm, such a sense of peace, and I normally manifest abundance quite quickly afterwards because I'm resetting the energy to how I want it to be, and I'm normally decluttering at that point as well. So how often you should energetically cleanse is completely up to you. Some people love to do it every single month on a full moon. They'll do like a releasing ritual and just reset the energy of their home. For me, I forget, so I don't do it that often. I normally do mine on the equinox or solstice as I'm decluttering my home. So I kind of always tie it in to a good declutter or a good tidy up. But if I ever felt that there was an energy and I was like, oh, the energy feels funky in the living room, room, or like something happened in the house, then absolutely I would energetically cleanse. So if there's been an argument in your space, if there's been like a tense situation or someone who's come into your house and you're like, oh my God, their vibes, their energy, this is also a really good time or opportunity to just reset the energy and clear away anything that's not yours and not serving you and your loved ones in your home. So how do you cleanse then? Well, there's lots of different tools that you can use. Some obviously cost money, some don't. So it's entirely up to you what you would like to do. But I also want to highlight the endangeredness of some of these tools that are very often used for energetic cleansing and promoted. Now, I do own them as well. I'm talking about Palo Santo, which is this, and white sage. So these I would say are like your two go-to basic, like how to cleanse your home and yourself tools. Now, there's nothing wrong with these. I've used them for years, but they are endangered. So this is not a good time to be going out and buying these because they're obviously native to indigenous lands and they are endangered. So I obviously own these two bits because I bought them many years ago, and obviously I am going to use this. I don't want to use this because it's really cute with the quote on, I am one with all that is. So this is more of a decorative piece. But this I will use because obviously I have purchased it, but I've had this for years. I've been working through the other one that I have, but after this I won't be buying anymore because I actually have started growing my own sage. So last year in the membership, we were talking and we were having this discussion about obviously them being endangered and what we could use as an alternative and something more responsibly sourced. And one of the queens recommended growing our own sage. She was like, you know, sage that you get from your local garden centre, you could just grow in your garden and you could use that. So I didn't actually know that was the same thing. I thought that it was obviously a different plant. Like obviously it's been grown in the UK, so it's very different. So I didn't realize that you could actually do that. So we set the challenge last year in the membership and we have all started growing our own sage, and I actually really enjoy using that as well. So you absolutely can and should focus more on using local sage or sage that you've grown in your own garden. So you can really easily pick this up from your local garden centre and grow it in a pot. It doesn't have to be too high maintenance. I always forget to water my plants. I am terrible, and it has definitely stood the test of time. So even if you are quite a lazy gardener or someone who forgets to water their plants every day, it is very durable and it has lasted even through a heat wave for me, and I have watered it as much as I can remember. So it's definitely a great durable plant if you're not the avid gardener too. But some other ways you can also cleanse your space is through aura sprays, which I love using. So this is one that I got recently from White Aura Alchemy, a smudge spray, which is obviously a cleansing spray. So it's hand blended with Reiki and love. So you could definitely use something like this. And then this one is one of my friends, Natalia's aura sprays that she made. She sadly no longer makes them, and that breaks my heart because this is actually one of my favorites and it's incredible, and it's got crystals at the bottom too. So I'm gutted she doesn't make them anymore. So I'm sparingly using what I have. So there are two elements that I have to my cleansing ritual. I will first of all cleanse the space, and then I will charge the space with positive energy and the intentions that I want to go into that space. You could also use crystals. Crystals is another way that you can cleanse the space. Obviously this is a clear quartz tower, so great for obviously like clearing and transmuting energy. You could work with the archangels. Archangel Metatron is a great clearer and transmuter of energy as well. So there are lots of ways that you can cleanse your home. It's not exclusive just to Palo Santo and sage, although those are like I would say the most recommended and most widely known about. So use what you have at the end of the day. If you want to go out and purchase and try some of these things, then absolutely do so. Grow your own sage. Get sage locally sourced as well. There are so many different ways that you can really easily obtain some great cleansing tools. So what does my ritual look like then? So like I said, I normally do this after I've decluttered and had a good sort through on an equinox or solstice, but if I did need it, because I felt that there was a weird vibe in the house or someone had come in, I absolutely would do it. When I normally just tend to tune in as and when I feel it needs it is perfect for me. If you want to do it every month, great, but I would just energetically tune into the space and see how it feels to you. Does it feel inspiring? Does it feel good? Does it feel positive, the space? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel dense? You'll very easily be able to tell the energy of your home and space just by tuning into it, just by feeling into it and how it makes you feel being in that space. So what I'll do is I will grab my tool of choice, whether it's an aura spray, whether it's some of the sage that I'm getting rid of, or some of the local sage that I've grown. Whatever I choose to use, I do tend to mix it up. I will just go with what I feel the space and I need at that point. So obviously I'll light it if I'm doing Palo Santo sage or white sage. And then I will essentially walk around the space, making sure I get the ceilings. So obviously like this, like wave it around. It'll obviously be lit, so it'll be smoking. Or if you're using an aura spray, you're spraying it. And then I will literally just make sure I'm getting every ceiling down to the floor. So I'll obviously like take it up, take it down, make sure it goes over like sofas, like just basically every surface I can. I'm just making sure that every part of that high and low aspect of the room is being covered by the smoke. So as I'm obviously going around, and doorways are really important to cleanse as well. Doorways obviously hold a lot of energetic potency because they're the entrance way. So your front door and back door are like non-negotiables. You absolutely need to cleanse these in your energetic cleanse. You can do like your doors to your bedroom and bathrooms and stuff like that. I think it's always good measure, but definitely front and back doors are really important to cleanse. So I just go along the door frame, like obviously above it, and then down the sides, down to the bottom of the door, and just repeat the mantra that I'm going to share with you in a second. So do not miss anywhere. Every room is worth doing. If you just want to do one room, you can, but I would definitely say do the whole house, do the whole space, because then, you know, it's all going to be energy reset. Sage also is very stinky. Every time I've done this and like my dad's walked in afterwards or someone's walked into my house, they've wondered whether I've been smoking something. It is very stinky and smells very similar to a certain plant so that you can smoke. So yes, you do want to make sure like there's good ventilation 100% if you're going to use white sage. Sage is not so bad. I think my garden sage is a lot more nicer smelling. So it's not as like potent as that when I do local sage, but when I do white sage, oh boy, it stinks. So do make sure you have good ventilation if you are going to use it. Same with Palo Santo, that can get quite stinky as well. Different smell, but stinky. So you do want to have a door or a window open on every level of your house as you're doing this as well. So if it's raining or bitterly cold, you might want to wait a little while till you can have the windows and doors open. But you want to make sure that there is a way for the energy to exit, because you're going to be affirming that. So you want that energy to have a place to exit, whether that's a window or a door open. So on every level of the house, so downstairs I have my back door open and upstairs I have a window open, and I just affirm that that energy is leaving through those like open doors, open windows. So that's really important as well. And it's good for ventilation so you don't stink yourself out with white sage. I would also say pets as well, try and keep them out of the way with white sage, just because it's so stinky and so overpowering, like you do feel like whoa afterwards. So I would definitely just make sure pets are out the way as well. Luna seems to like the smell of it, but I just worry because it stinks so much that I don't really want her inhaling all of that. So I make sure she's outside and got some, you know, things to occupy her outside for a little while just while I'm doing it, and the house can air a little bit. So yes, those are my airs of caution with using white sage, is the smell is very overpowering. So once you've got your door or your window open on every level, and you've got your tool of use, obviously if you're using aura spray, I still would have a door or window open for that energetic release, but the smell is not going to be bad with those. So you're not going to have to do it for ventilation purposes. You can do it for, you know, just releasing that energy at that point. So as I said, I'll walk around each and every room, making sure I've got ceilings down to the floor, wall spaces, I'll go over the sofa, like, you know, anything like that, just making sure every part of the room, including doorways, have had this smoke go over it, or whatever I'm using aura spray. And it's also important to repeat a mantra as well. So I repeat the mantra of I am cleansing this space of any negative energy and leave only positive, happy, loving energy. So that is just what I repeat repeat time and time again as I'm going all around the house. It's that simple. You can obviously tweak something to be more suitable for you or something that feels more in alignment, but that is the simple phrase that I just made up and have used ever since I started cleansing, just because I feel like that verbal cue really just helps. And I feel like it just feels good to say that as well. You don't have to, but I feel like I like affirming it in that way. And then every now and again I'll say, and I send any of this negative energy out through the back window or out through the back door to be cleared and transmuted for the highest good of all. So I will write that down in the description so you have that written down, that little mantra, that sentence, but that is simply it. So I go around saying that mantra, affirming it's leaving through the doors or windows. And then once I'm done, I will just go to the back door with the smudge stick, with whatever I'm using, and just waft it out and say, like, I'm now clearing all this negative energy out, like clearing and transmuting it, and leaving any positive, happy, loving energy. I'll usually go over myself as well, just for extra measure. I don't think there's any benefit to that. I don't think there's any harm in just doing some extra cleansing on yourself as well and your aura. So that is it. And then obviously I will stub the white sage out, or sage, or, you know, make sure if there's an active flame that it is stubbed out in a little trinket dish. And then I'll just leave it to cool down before obviously I put it away safely. So that is what I do. Sage, again, just be very careful with the smoke. It can get very, very smoky. So be aware of your smoke alarms. And that's why ventilation is key, especially with white sage or Palo Santo, because it can get very smoky, very smelly, and you want a good ventilation to clear that energy out as well. So when you go to cleanse and charge your space now, what you're going to do, this is why I use Natalia's aura spray, because it's just so good and it's so great for charging. So you could get a charging aura spray, or you could use a charging crystal. Clear quartz is a charging crystal. It obviously amplifies the power of other crystals, so this is a good one to use. So either or is great, clear quartz or aura spray, but something charging. You want something charging essentially. So then I will go around the space and call upon my angels, and I will just ask them to help to charge the space essentially. So I will just, you know, ask them to charge the space with a feeling or an emotion that I want, or the energy of something. So it changes every single time I tune into what I need, but I really like charging the space afterwards, because then it's like you have your reset, your cleanse, and then you have your charging and your intention setting with the space. So I really think it's good to set intentions with your home, with your workspace, with your car, with whatever space you're cleansing and charging, because again, intention setting brings abundance, right? It brings manifestations, it brings the energy that you want to cultivate in that space. So if you don't ask, how does the universe know? So I feel like that's just a nice little ending point to the ritual, where you can then enhance what you want to experience in your space, in your home, in your work, etc. But that is my complete cleansing ritual and what I do on a quarterly basis, sometimes a little bit more if I feel I need it, but it's really low key for me. It's not something that I feel I need to do every single month, but you may feel that you need to. If you've got lots of people in your home, or you've had lots of people coming in recently, especially after the festive period, it might be a great time to do it. I set this as a challenge on the first day of my manifesting challenge, as a subtask to cleanse their homes, because again, on New Year, it's just the perfect time to reset, to bring in that new energy and invite in abundance to your space. But I would love to hear what you use to cleanse your home. Obviously, these are the tools that I'm aware of and what I use, but I would love to hear what you use, if you've come across any other great ethically sourced tools that can help to cleanse spaces, because it's always great to learn about more. So let me know how you cleanse your home and what you use. But thank you so much, gorgeous souls, for watching. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I replied to them all, and I will see you all in my next video, which will be on Friday. Lots of love.